Hey, good afternoon. Joe over at Meadowhawks Farm. Thought I'd bust out the camera and give you guys a little peek at my water. What I decided to do over here off grid for showering and started to make. I actually made some coffee with it this morning for the first time. Got the Berkey going, filtered it through, and seems pretty clean. I haven't had a chance to get it tested yet for whatever. Probably ought to do that. Well, we'll probably be boiling it for a little while, maybe till I get it dropped off and get tested. But it's going to save a lot of money for running down into town getting gallon jugs. That's you don't realize how much water you consume just for drinking, the dog's water and whatever until you start buying it by the gallon. So I dug this hole last year with the backhoe. Figured get me a head start, and of course I hit water, and then the hole filled up with water real nice, and came back to it this year to touch it up, and I had dug a trench, most of the trench, up to the barn. That's where we're staying in the camper for now, till I get the cabin built. So I had most of the trench dug down to about here, and just left the rest. So the dirt probably wouldn't wash into my hole, but of course dirt did wash into the hole, and the ground got wet and it caved in. And what was a really nice deep hole, as deep as I could get with the backhoe, was just a soggy, muddy mess. So if I was to do this again, I definitely would not dig the hole ahead of time. I would have everything that I was going to, all my materials here, and I would just dig the hole and do it until it was done. It ended up being pretty much a disaster. I ran out of reach with the backhoe, because I wasn't like right up on top of the hole now, because of course the soil at the edge was soggy and compromised. So the closer I got, the more the edge just fell in. And so what I was digging, pulling out, everything else was just sliding in, and then everything was muck. So without enough reach, everything here is kind of tapered down towards this area a little bit, because I had dug a little bit of a gully to put the backhoe in so I could get an extra foot or two down. And so everything that I was depositing on the surface was muddy, and it was just a muddy brown river just flowing right back into my hole. So yeah, didn't work out too good. Ended up renting an excavator with a little bit more reach, and cleaned up the hole nice. And I had bought some of this culvert, 36-inch by 20-foot piece. And when I redug the hole, there was a lot of, like, I don't know, fine, muddy, thick mud, goo, whatever. And it seemed to almost be kind of capping off the couple little veins that were really producing on the bottom. So I was a little worried about that. And I'm filling an IBC tote in the barn there. So I wanted to be able to put, 200 or 300 gallons at a clip into that without, with having some recovery. So I didn't like deplete the whole supply right down to nothing and run the pump dry. So I ended up putting, just cutting this in half. So I got two 10-footers buried in there. And I have a piece of pipe down at the bottom that kind of connects them. It's a 3/4-inch PVC, just kind of connects one to the other, so they'll kind of balance out a little bit. The pump is in this first one, and so far we've pumped water a couple times out of it, and it's working really well. Now the dirt's settling around here, and I got plans on getting some process type driveway, whatever they use up this way. It's kind of a sandy, gravelly river type bottom mix, packs real well, and throwing that around here, and then mixing up some lime mortar and putting that around, just keep some of the groundwater from soaking in right directly around my culverts. And then if I can get it packed and good enough, maybe I'll put a little shed or something over top of it too. That way I can go in here and take a peek at it and keep the frogs out of it, because this cover I got now isn't all that great. Just what I had on hand. Got a farm, you gotta have plenty of tires around. So I'm gonna take a little peek. A couple pieces of dirt floating in there, but the water actually doesn't look too bad. It looks clear every day, a little bit clearer every day. Stuff's settling down. You can see I got my pump, and it goes through the culvert right there. And it's 10-foot culvert. Got about 4 feet down, so 6 feet of water. And it should be about the same in the other one. Yeah, about 6 feet in the other one. So 12 foot of water. I forget what the numbers were on that, but I wanted at least 4 to 6 feet. Would have gave me a couple 100 gallons anyway. So yeah, we got no problem filling a better part of a 300 gallon IBC tote. It's all cleaned out in there in the shop. So I run this up, this off the generator. It's a 110 volt pump, and it fills that. Just try to keep the frogs out of it mainly. The frog will get down there, he won't be able to get out. No croak. That's sliding all over now. And then might make the water smell a little funky. Who knows? Yep, so the pump pumps it up the hill through the trench and into the tote. And I just watch to make sure the tote, of course, gets full, because you can see it because it's clear. You can see the water. And then I pull the plug off the generator. Just made an extension cord out of a 12 gauge Romex, the yellow stuff. And there's no foot valve or check valve on this, so whatever's in the line will just go right back into the well, so there's no water in the line. I'm not too concerned about freezing, because I'm pretty much 4 feet down for the most part, but there's something else not to have to deal with. You know, we're gonna have to deal with we're not a pressurized system here, so it really doesn't matter. The water can just go down. And then the I just got a 12 volt pump attached to the IBC tote, and that supplies water to the camper. And you know, it buzzes a little bit. The one I got buzzes a little bit when it goes on. You can kind of tell, but it's not totally annoying in the camper, and it's plenty enough for a shower. It's yeah, it's a beautiful shower, and pretty easy on the water for showering and stuff. The worst part is running the wash machine. Yeah, I hate going to the into town to get the laundry done. That's I know laundromats are expensive to own and operate, and the washing machine is expensive, and natural gas for the dryers. But I don't know, spending money on laundry is just, everybody's got their weird little things, that they don't want to spend any kind of hard-earned money on. I guess going to the laundromat. for washing clothes is a little peeve for me. So we got a wash machine, and we got a dryer, and we can run the dryer off the generator if need be, but we just kind of hanging the clothes on the line. It's been working okay. So I'll give you a little picture, or I'll go in there and give you a view of the IBC tote. How I got that rigged up. It's not as pretty as I would have liked, mostly because of just trying to find materials. You know, you go to Home Depot and they're empty. Not empty, but you know, you're always missing that one thing that you need, so now you gotta cobble all this other stuff together, and the hardware store hasn't been any better, so you go 3 or 4 places, and of course going up here, it takes you a little while. You know, you're not just gonna run down. You know, you're gonna go this place one day, and maybe you're gonna plan a big trip and go somewhere else the next day, and you know, 2 weeks go by and you're still not done with one project because you're waiting on stuff, and then you try to order from Amazon, and they're 2 weeks, you know, to get anything. And no Prime over here, but at least you can get it. You know, you just gotta be patient. Can't be in a hurry, and that's why we moved here. We didn't want to be in a hurry anymore, and we definitely aren't. So yeah, let me put this on pause, and we'll go inside and I'll give you a view.